Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. And those that don't know, my name is Matthew and this is Matthew Hawker Gaming. So today we're going to do another video which is going to be a gameplay video. So one of my last videos that I did was in this kind of gameplay series was a perspective. It was Hearthstone, but from a Magic the Gathering player's perspective. First and foremost, for those that don't mean paper, I'm a Magic player. I've been playing for like 20 plus years and counting. Mostly in paper. I mainly play at the moment. I mostly play Commander, and I also do limited as well. I love my drafts as well. Anyway, today we're going to carry on and do another perspective from visit another card game. So today's featured game is going to be Legends of Runeterra. For those that don't know, Legends of Runeterra is set in the Riot universe. So it's in the same universe as League of Legends and Teamfight Tactics. So for those that know those games, you'll find some crossover, and the champions are basically the same as some of the game. Although there's not quite the full amount of champions that they are in League. There are a lot of them, but they've still got a lot of choice and things they can expand with in the future. Okay, so the main thing that distinguishes Legends of Runeterra from Magic the Gathering is one of them anyway, is the mana system. So the main flaw with Magic being the mana system, you can only basically play lands if you draw them, and if you get stuck, you basically don't end up playing. Whereas so Legends of Runeterra has fixed this. Well, firstly, the way the mana is handled in this game isn't that. It came from Hearthstone first, so basically that game fixes the mana, because basically you start with 1 mana a turn, go to 2 on turn 2 and 3 and 4 and so on up until you get to 10, which is the maximum. But Legends of Runeterra adds some more tweaks of its own. They have what is called spell mana. So spell mana basically means if you don't spend mana in your turn, you can bend up. It goes into a bank, so it will be displayed below the bar. In the regular mana, there'll be a dot. So they got 3 dots, so you can have up to 3 spell mana. And this mana can only be used to cast spells, which are not creatures in this game. And you can only get up to 3. But it's a bit more flexible, so you don't do anything on turn 1. You basically have 1 spell mana goes into the bank, and you'll get 2 mana on the next turn. So you will have up to 3 mana, as long as you just play it on a spell. There's also some other things in the game that distinguishes it from Magic. So the cost of the cards are the same. They're in the top corner as they are normally. You have your power, the left hand number on the card. The bottom right hand number is the toughness, the same as Magic. I will explain some of the other differences. So the damage is like Hearthstone. It's permanent. That it doesn't clean up at the end of the turn. So the damage is permanent. So in Legends of Runeterra, you build your deck around champions, which I'll go into a bit more in my deck in a minute after I've shown you a game. So you basically have these what are called champions cards, which are built on the champions in League of Legends, and they're basically the thing your deck is built around. So you can have up to 6 of these in a deck. A deck is 40 cards. You can have up to 3 copies of a card in a deck. A deck is 40 cards. Yeah, I think I said that anyway. Yeah, and then there's some various other things. So I'll explain as we go along. So I'm going to go into some gameplay now. I'm going to be playing my what's called a Blades deck. So it's a IRELIA AZIR deck. I'll go into it a bit more as we get along. Alright, I'll just go into some gameplay. We're going to be playing the Eternal format equivalent, which is the equivalent to the Eternal format in Magic. They also offer a standard format, but I prefer the Eternal formats that give you a greater variety of cards. And before I go into it, Legend of Runeterra is very free-to-play friendly, people. It's one of the most free-to-play friendly games. You can get nearly the entire collection for very little money. I mean, you say it's one of the most free-to-play friendly games. Anyway, I'll go into some gameplay and I'll show you a bit about it as we go along. I'll play one game and then I'll show you a bit more about the deck. And then I'll go into a bit more detail. Right, I'm using the Mobalytics deck tracker. I recommend the Mobalytics deck tracker. That it's easy to find if you just Google it, and it will show you a bit about the deck and the chances of drawing each percentages of various cards. I recommend deck trackers in all games, and nearly all games have them. Right, let's get into some gameplay and I'll show you how the thing works. So I'm going against a Mono Shurima deck, which is what mine is. Mine isn't Mono Shurima, it's close to it's got Shurima and Ionia split, so you can have up to 2 regions in your deck. That looks like a hand to keep. So I'll explain it a bit as we go along. So they basically, this is a pre-game card. This basically starts in play. It summons if the deck is all Shurima. It's a landmark, which basically means it's like a building effectively. It has what's called a countdown, and that basically counts down from 25 to like 0, and then something happens. So they're basically, the system is pass priority, and then you pass to the opposing player. And if they're both passed in succession, it goes. So basically, you have what is called the attack token. When you have the attack token, you can attack. Basically, everything effectively has haste in this game, so you can attack the turn it comes in. Basically, as long as you have the attack token, it alternates between you and the opponent. So this is basically a 1/1. That when I summon another ally, it gets +1/+1 in the round. This is a 2/1 with elusive, so it's equivalent of a flyer in Magic. It basically gets bigger when I play another ally as well. So if you see the the golden card in my hand is a champion. So this one basically levels up from when it had. So that's its base value. And when you summon 12 allies or landmarks, it levels up to its next level. And I'll show you when I get there. So they haven't done anything at the moment. They're basically building up. So they can effectively play up to a 4 casting cost spell now, if they have one. They're mainly a creature-focused deck. They're going to be playing very similar stuff to what I have now. So I'm basically just going to play AZIR. I don't feel they're going to attack in or anything. I'll just pause. Alright, so this is worth explaining. So when you draw a second champion, basically it transforms in your hand into what's called a champion spell, which basically, if you're stuck in Magic and you're saying playing a legendary creature and you ended up with a second legendary, it's not very useful. So allegiance means if they get the top, I'll show you because you can just click on the thing. It says when you summon the unit, if it gets its allegiance bonus, if the top card in your deck matches its region stats, then you're going to be everything. So this is going to attack. So I'm basically just going to run in for everything because I don't feel it's worth bearing in mind. You can only fit so many units on the board in this game. I believe it's 6. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh. So this is basically when I attack with an ally, you summon an attacking Sand Soldier, which basically means that it's a 1/1. It has ephemeral, which means it basically goes at the end of the combat section. If it gets through to the enemy nexus, it deals 1 to the enemy. So worth bearing in mind, the creatures in this game deal combat damage from left to right. So there's an advantage to attacking in the correct order and various different things. So I'm going to play this now to recall this, and it'll basically summon that. I'm trying to get this to basically summon 12 allies or landmarks, and that will level up, and it basically means my attacking units will be bigger when they're summoned. Yeah. This is looking very good for me. They need to do something very quickly. I think I'm probably winning very quickly. I just pause. I don't think they're doing anything.
Raise those banners!
I'll just take it. There's not. I'll just bank the mana, even if I lose 1 mana effectively. So I have 9 mana this turn, so it gives me 5 mana to play this, and then it gives me 4 mana because I'm assuming they're going to play the champion of their own and then going to do something. This game's looking quite good anyway. Anyway, what other CCGs do people play? Let me know in the comments section. Anyway, I'm going to try and do these videos for most of the CCGs, so I'm going to cover some other various games. I'm going to cover some other ones at some point. And for those that don't know, check out my Hearthstone video if you haven't seen that. It was quite popular anyway, and it's on the 300+ views. So I assume they're going to play champion now, which I'm going to respond to by basically bouncing it and bouncing one of mine. Yeah, so that's NASA, so that's basically definitely definitely something you want to go back. So I'll bounce this because it triggers, then I'll get a card for bouncing it. This is a large thing, so this has got fearsome, so this is, can only be blocked by creatures with 3 or more power, and it gets bigger. It levels up when it attacks with 10. I think they've just stone dead in this combat phase. They won't be able to block this. There's like 2 elusive creatures offering the good game. Right, after this game I'll explain a bit more about the specifics of the deck. Runeterra's been going, what is it going to be going now? I think it's about 3 years. Although Riot's love for the game, I don't know if it's making much money, unfortunately. We say League of Legends definitely makes them enough money, and they've even got Valorant now, which I think is doing quite well. So I'm sure this game, they've cut down on some of the development for this anyway. The new set for this game just came out anyway, and as you say, I got all of the new stuff day one. I'm working my way through the Battle Pass at the minute. I haven't purchased it yet, but I will get it before the end of the set anyway. Right, I'm going to explain to you a bit about my deck. So I'm going to go to show you my thing. We're going to go to the deck and explain a bit about it. Right, so this deck is basically, it's called Blades. It's been on for a while now. It came out when Shurima came out, which was one of the regions, because when the game came out they didn't have all the regions. Now they have, I believe, all the regions in the game. So a deck in Runeterra is made of 40 cards, so it's close to a limited deck in Magic. So you can have 3 copies of any card in the deck, including, you're limited to 6 champions. So as you saw, the person that I was playing against was playing a lot of different champions, whereas I'm playing two maximum copies of 3. So you basically limited it to 2 regions, in a deck. A region is like a colour in Magic, so it's like, and most of the decks are 2 colours. Effectively, unless they do a special in some of the modes sometimes. Right, so we've got 40 card deck, so we'll go through it. So this is basically the first card in the deck. So this is Ancient Preparations. This is a landmark. So when you play it, you predict, and basically I can. Stupid thing, editor. I'll get it back in a minute. So we'll start with the thing. I'll get it back in a minute. Dancing Droplet. So it's a 1/1, 1/1 for 1 elusive, and it's basically, elusive is like a flyer in Magic. It's an evasive ability. So it's a 1/1 for 1. It's when it's recalled, draw 1. So basically, you have things in the deck that will bounce your own units. In some ways, your champion has a spell that will do it on it. Yeah, so it has various things. It's where even when it bounced it. So this is Shadow Apprentice. This is a 1/1 for 1 elusive as well. It gets a benefit for when you summon an ephemeral ally. Give me +1/+0 this round, and there are various ways to summon ephemeral allies. Sparring Student is one of the best 1-drops in the deck. It's the thing that gets the largest out of quick. And as you saw, someone wasted the crumble on it, which to kill it, when it's only a 1/1 effectively, unless when you summon another ally. So it gets bigger. So you've got Emperor's Dais, a landmark. So this is when allies attack, summon an attacking Sand Soldier. Oh, that's the way you click on it. I was doing it wrong, so you click on it. So now you have to right-click on it. Sorry, I was trying to just show you the thing. Okay, so this is when allies attack, summon an attacking Sand Soldier. And as you see, the attacking Sand Soldier is ephemeral, and it has Nexus Strike. So Nexus is like the enemy's health, and it's when it deals damage to. If it strikes the Nexus, it deals 1 damage. And ephemeral means the unit dies when it strikes or when the round ends. Then we go on to Green Glade Duo. So this is 2/1 elusive for 2, and it has, when you summon another ally, give me +1/+0. That used to be a lot. I think it used to be a 2/2, and then they nerfed it slightly. They do patch the game quite often anyway. Then we've got Lead and Follow. Okay, so the spells. With the spells, I didn't explain them very well at the time. So spell is, in like Magic, they're instants and sorceries equivalent. So fast is like the instant equivalent. And then it goes up to burst, which is basically like a split second in Magic. So we'll show you this card. So it's basically recall an ally. It can only be used on an ally, can't be used on an opponent's creatures, to create a Flawless Duet in hand. Flawless Duet is basically, so this slow spell, this is a slow spell, so this can, can be played outside of combat when no spells or skills are pending. Happens after your opponents have a chance to react, so they always get a chance to respond to this. Fleeting cards basically go at the end of the round if they're not used. So then it creates a blade, which is a 1/1, and it basically is obliterated when it leaves combat. Okay, so that's that one that's leading follow. We've got Navi Conspirator, so it's a 2/2 elusive to play me, recall an ally. So it's good with loads of things with enter the battlefield triggers, and it's evasive. So this is retreat, so this is recall an ally to create a fleeting return in hand. So it bounces a thing. It's basically a way to save your things from various removal. So this basically bounces them, and it summons a way to bring them back. So it doesn't even it can bring back either the thing you bounce, or generally as long as it costs 3 or less, but it can be used to bounce anything and then summon something. And this is at burst speed, so they can't basically respond to this. Right, so that's that spell. That's retreat. Then we've got Ribbon Dance, so it's a 2/1. When you play it, play dance 1. They explode. Okay, then we get to the champions. So these are the 2 cards in the deck, which are the champions. So what the deck's built around. As you see, these champions are golden because they're mostly my ones that I'm trying to effectively get all this deck in prismatic, which is the foil equivalent in Magic. Anyway, I'll show you. So this is the first champion. So this is AZIR. So this is when allies attack, summon an attacking Sand Soldier. It levels up when you've summoned 12 or more allies or landmarks, which is most of the deck, to be honest. So then when he levels up, so most champions go to level up once. Some of them go up to 2, but like it's not going up to the maximum level in this deck because you need the Sun Disc, and the deck doesn't play the Sun Disc. This is so when allies attack, summon an attacking Sand Soldier. When you summon another ally, they both get +1/+0 this round, and it can't go to the next level. The champion spell, which basically we saw in the other game, but I didn't cast it, it's when this happens to avoid you getting duplicate copies, and it rewards you if you can do something with the second copy, so it's a bit more flexibility. So this is a burst spell. It basically summons a Sand Soldier, which is a 1/1 for 1, creates a fleeting Arise, and creates a copy of AZIR in the deck. So that's the Sand Soldier, and you don't need to see that bit because we're not using it. Right, so now we've got the second champion, which is IRELIA. So IRELIA is a 3/2 for free. It has quick attack. So quick attack's worth explaining. Quick attack is like first strike in Magic. The only difference is in this game, it's attacking only. It's not it's blocking, so it's first strike but for attacking only. Okay, so that's that bit. It also has a tune. It's when it's summoned, it refills a spell mana. So the mana underneath your bar, the one that goes up to the 3 dots, it gives you 1 of that. So basically you get 1 mana back off this, but it can only be used on a spell. So this start of the round, if you have the attack token, which alternates between you and your opponent, you create a flawless duet, which I'll show you in a minute, and it levels up when you attack with 14 allies, which isn't difficult. I mean, you said, what colours deck does this feel like, people? In me, it's some ways between a green deck, because it has like a load of token generation, but it has some aspects of a blue deck, because it has like the bounce and stuff like that. So is it a green-blue deck, a Simic deck? I'm not really sure, to be honest. Anyway, this deck is what it is. I enjoy it anyway. Is it tier 1? Probably not anymore, but I enjoy it, so what does it matter? Anyway, none of these games are ranked currently because Riot haven't implemented a ranked mode into the Eternal format. Come on, Riot, we want the ranked mode in Eternal. Anyway, they'll get around to it eventually. I think it's coming in a couple months or something, but we'll see. Okay, when it flips, it goes into a 4/3. When I'm summoned or round start, if you have to make a flawless duet, and it's when allies attack, create a Blade Surge in a hand. We'll show you this. So a Blade Surge is basically swap IRELIA with an ally. So it basically means you can use IRELIA as slight of a combat trick, because you could put IRELIA in as a 4/3 tapped and attacking, and it sometimes will kill the creature. Anyway, that's what a flawless duet is. Makes two blades. And 7 mana for IRELIA's Vanguard Edge. You don't get to cast this very often. It's 7 mana. Pick an ally to attack alongside the blades, then Blade Dance 3 and create an IRELIA. So it's basically like a sort of another attack in addition to your regular attack. Then we've got 2 copies of Homecoming. Homecoming is a bounce spell, so it's recall an ally unit or landmark to recall an enemy unit or landmark. So you generally do it on any of your come into play things, like the next card I'm going to show you, or the 1-drop that gets you a card when it's bounced. So this is one of the things you're more likely to bounce. So this is a 4/3 when played Blade Dance 2. So it basically gives you a thing, and they don't get the chance to respond. So it basically goes into combat more or less straight away. And then to round out, we've got Inspiring Marshal. So this is when you summon another ally, give it +2/+0 this round. Right, and I just made a mistake in my deck building. So I'm going to have to get the landmark back. So let's see if I can... Ancient Preparations. There we go. So I found it now. Okay, that's my deck done. Right, let's get back into gameplay. We're going to play another couple of games and we'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm going to do some other content for this game, I'm going to show you. I'm just playing this deck today, so I'm not going to play a different deck today. I might show you another one at some other point. Anyway, there are a wide variety of decks and stuff available. I'll show you a bit more about some of the stuff when I finish this, and I might show you a bit about the season pass. Anyway, let's play another game and see how it goes. So the first game looked quite good anyway. Anyway, I've been playing this game since the beginning, since when it came out. So, I mean, it's very free-to-play friendly. I think it's the most free-to-play friendly of any games. I think the crafting system in the game is a lot better than Magic, because you can craft nearly all the cards outright. If you play every week and get like a level 10 chest, you get most of you can get the champions, alright. So I don't want 2 copies of IRELIA for sure. I'll keep the Dancing Droplet and AZIR and that, and then that's like not a bad hand. Right, we'll keep that. I mean, the mascots in the game, for those that don't know, are a lot of the Poros, which are these little thing here. That's the Poro emote and Tom Kench. Anyway, Poros are cool. Anyway, there is technically a Poro deck as well, but I don't feel it's that great. It looks like it's all Shurima today. I don't know if the cards have been buffed recently or not, but like it seems to be an all Shurima. I was hoping to show you a bit more variety in the gameplay. Anyway, we'll play and see how it goes. I do like the elephant kind of one. It was given away for Celebrate Pride, I think. So this is basically a landmarks deck. So I assume you can see what champions they're playing. So they're playing this Azirath and Zillion, which this one is triggers when so many landmarks go, I believe. I either have a choice between playing this or playing this. I'll play this. Yeah, so as I said in the early games, so the combat resolved left to right. It has been drastically different in this, but you can have various effects which happen depending on where they are in the combat. So if you block with like a thing that has the equivalent of lifelink further to the right, and you take the damage first, so you gain the life back, there's stuff like that that can trigger. They've got a Clockling, which is the same thing. Zillion. There are some random elements in this game. This is one of them. So this creates what's called time bombs in your deck, and then predict. So predict is basically pick a card from among 3, shuffle the deck, and put the card on top. But there's only a choice of 3. Right, so we've got a choice. I'm probably going to go with... it's one of these 2. I'll try this one.
I dance not to forget, but to remember.
I'll just take it. I'm not bothering.
Hey, Krabby.
Play this, because then this will get bigger in the combat. So I'll just keep playing. These initial tokens aren't going to be very big, but they're going to make this guy very big. I'm probably not going to attack with this put this into combat and put it at risk of dying. I know these things aren't going to live, but like my deck isn't very good at blocking either, though, to be honest, because it's very, very aggressive. I was playing a Magic draft yesterday, and I didn't really do much blocking. I played black-red equivalent in the new Wilds of Eldraine Limited. I wasn't doing much blocking in the entire match. I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. That went pretty well as expected. They don't really play much removal. I'll just take it. There's no reason to do anything.
Shoulders Don't worry. I've danced this 100
Although these things aren't going to go through for very much, they're going to get some triggers basically. So what I'm going to get is some value because it is going towards leveling my champions. So I'm trying to level up the champions and eventually. Yeah, so I'm going to level this up now. So basically my weakest thing is going to die soon.
I just accelerate the outcome.
Kind of unfortunate.
My heart races. If you fall, I will always catch you. Remember our ancestors and fight for those who came before us.
The level up animations, so the animations here, so the opponent's just given up anyway, so I've got that one. The level up animations though are some of the best in any of these TCGs, the digital ones anyway. I think generally the presentation is very good. Right, we'll do another game and then I'll explain a bit more about the season pass and some of more of the other aspects, and then we'll round up the video. Alright, for those that don't know, that have watched the channel before, I greatly appreciate it. As I said, as always, like, comment and subscribe. For the best thing you can do for me, if you like the content, is a subscription, people. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to do all these videos. In addition to these kind of videos, I also do various other kind of videos. So I'm mainly a Magic player, so I do various Magic videos. I did a Magic pack opening recently. Oh, we're just about to play against a different kind of deck anyways, there's something. So I did a Magic pack opening recently. I also did a game about my video game collection series. I'm basically a big video game collector, mainly physicals. So I collect various different platforms, and I showed my most 25 expensive games. I wish them good luck. So basically this is probably going to be a straight race again. They're basically playing Shadow Isles Ionia, which is like a cross between my deck, and they've got basically they're going to have more removal. Okay, so I'm basically going to play another ephemeral, another ally which can block it. Yeah, so this is the case. I'm just going to block. So they've got Hecarim, which can bring back the thing. So basically, I don't have very long. I'm basically just. They don't block very well either. So basically, this is an equipment. So this is like the equivalent in Magic, basically. But the thing is, they go back when they go. I won't attack with that one. They're risking all the time. So this basically means when he summons an ephemeral, I grant it +1/+1. So this is going to create. Okay, this is going to be our first thing. So he's summoned a unit with Challenger. So how Challenger works? Challenger is basically it enables them to attack one of my units directly. If they, depending on what they challenge, I can potentially claim it. Yeah. They're going to be big Spectral Riders, so they're going to be free freeze. I'll bounce this guy to save it.
What's today's lesson?
Might as well use it. If not, I'm going to lose it. So that's fine. It's not going to get much damage through, but it's okay. So next one, I'm going to do this on the open attack, and then they basically don't get a chance to respond. So they won't basically get a mana, and I don't have any mana open to protect anything. Like, I don't have the champion on the board, but like it's okay. I mean, this game is probably over in the next couple of turns. So it's a 3-2, so can I attack? And the answer is I can attack. I'll leave this back to block. So this is what's called Hallowed. It's after it dies for the rest of the game when allies attack. Hollow your first attack, giving it +1/+8. If they don't have a big attack this time, yeah, that's probably what I don't want to see. This is Hecarim, so it's some 2 attacking Spectral Riders. He's also going to get something back from the Graveyard, and it's going to have... So it doesn't have Ephemeral on its own, and it has Overwhelm, which is the trample equivalent in Magic, so I have to think about what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make them make the decision, so I'm going to attack, making this into a 3-3, and hopefully I can survive, because none of the... Hecarim's going to be big. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd do pretty much. It's can I survive this combat? I'm just going to make this bigger. I don't think I'm winning this due to Hecarim. 9 power.
You're all tied up. Let's dance.
I will show you a cool little trick you can do though. So I'm going to take, at the moment I'm taking 5 from this, but they're going to gain 6, which I'm not worried about. So I'm more worried about that than the combat. So we're going to do, so what we're going to do is bounce this, and then they're not going to gain the 6 damage. They're not going to gain the 6 life. I'm going to take 5, going to 5, and hopefully I can win in the air. Well, in the air, it's not going to be in the air. It's going to be like magic. It's going so now I can play some of this.
Just like we practiced.
It's down to what I draw. I don't. It's going to be close. That's not bad. That would enable me to bounce the Hecarim or bounce my guy. I feel I can play this.
Spin it round, throw it down. Accept your fate.
Sure, that's fine.
Melodies to rouse hearts and steady hand. Don't like your tone.
I just pause. It depends what they do. I think I need another spell. Can't do it. I can.
You missed a step.
I think I'm only just got dead.
Oh, you're in for it.
Because there's no point where I can bounce the Hecarim and live. Can't do it. Only just. Yeah, as you see, I went to -1. I couldn't quite get through with the thing. I need some more units to make the other thing bigger. Alright, anyway, that's the game. I went 2-1. I'm going to say hopefully you enjoyed that. Alright, I'm going to show you a bit more about the various other aspects of the game, like how free-to-play friendly it is at the moment and stuff like that. Alright, so let's go to my homepage. I'm going to show you a bit about the thing. So basically, this is my collection. We're going to show you my collection. As you can see, I've got a complete collection. I've been playing since the beginning of the game. Anyway, it's generally quite free-to-play friendly. I mean, you say the only aspects in the game basically you have to pay for, the battle passes. Well, you don't have to pay for them, but I feel like you should pay for them if you enjoy the game. It's a way to give back to developers and helps them creating more content from the game. Anyway, in this game, there are 4 different kinds of rarity of cards. So the first one being common, then you go rare, which is blue, then you go, I think it's epic in this game, quote me if I'm wrong, and then you see which is the purple, and then you go champion, which is the yellow one, which is what most of the thing has been. So it's been going for quite a while now. I think it's about 3 years. So this is the most recent set, Fate's Voyage, that just came out. There's that amount. There's 40 cards, 45 commons, 48, 36, and 9 champions. So there's normally it's three new champions in each set, and you can 3 copies of each is complete collection. Anyway, that's Fate's Voyage, Heart of the Huntress, Glory Navori, Darkwind Saga, World Waker, Beyond the Bandwood, Emperors of the Ascendant, Events, which is like a special, Call of the Mountain, which is the number 1, Rising Tides, and Foundations, which is like a core set equivalent in Magic. As you see, that set's quite a lot larger. The set sizes have gone down actually by the look of it, and they're only like 4X cards now. Anyway, we need to say, so I'll show you a bit about how you get various cards. Right, let me just close that. Right, as you say, you get various different resources, which are shards. This is This one is prismatic essence. It's only comprised to make cosmetics. You make basically the foil card equivalents of it. This is shards, which are used to craft cards. You can craft cards from all the rarities. You don't need like any other resource. You can craft everything as free to play. It just takes a while. And when you say they have what's called a weekly vault, so this is basically your weekly quests. You can get various by doing the weekly quests. You can fill this chest. Basically, if you get to level 10 every week, you get equivalent of a free champion. So that's quite good when you're starting playing. Anyway, you also get various other things as well. I'll show you the battle pass quickly, which is currently going. So this is the current battle pass. As you see, this is what I'm at 59 at the moment. It goes to 740. They're relatively difficult to do actually, because some of the cards quests you need to do on it are quite specific on what you have to do. Anyway, once this video finishes, I'm going to be doing a bit more on the battle pass. Anyway, it's quite good, the battle pass. You can basically unlock a load of things, and basically going up there, it goes up to 740. But they give you, I think it's just over a month for each. It's like 5-6 weeks for each one. They only do it every so often. They don't necessarily do it all the time. Anyway, there's various resources on it that goes up to the golden champions right at the end, which is normally the thing you unlock at the top of the pass. Anyway, also, so there are other modes in Runeterra as well. In addition to this Eternal mode I just showed, there's a standard equivalent mode. There's also a more like a dungeon run equivalent in Hearthstone, which is called Path of Champions. As I say, that's a good mode. I'll show you a bit more. There's also like a gauntlet mode and other stuff, like various like weekly modes and stuff like that. They only drawback to Runeterra I can actually think of that it's not a paper game. And it's not like playing a game in paper, and you don't get the interactions and all the social aspects. And also, there's no at the moment. There's not an equivalent of a draft mode in the game. They had something that was similar, but they took it out. But they are going to be bringing it back, maybe with some additions, hopefully shortly. Anyway, that's the only drawbacks I can tell you about Runeterra. Anyway, it's a very good game. It's better in Magic in a lot of ways anyway, other than it not being a paper game, I would expect. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. As I hope you enjoyed it. I will carry on doing this series. I'm going to probably call it something like it would be X game from a Magic player's perspective. And if you haven't watched the Hearthstone video, I recommend the Hearthstone one as well. And we said the next game I'll be covering will probably be Eternal, and then I may go on to something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something along those lines. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you again. Like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell notification icon to tell you when I next upload a video. Thanks very much. See you again soon. Bye.